Hey everybody, it's Nintoki's here again with another time-lapse drawing. Today we're going to be doing Sora from Kingdom Hearts for Twitch user DeAndre Supreme. I have a little bit of a history with the Kingdom Hearts series. Unfortunately, I didn't grow up with it like I know a lot of people did. But before I get too far into things, what you're hearing right now is a cover of Traverse Town by our buddy Insane in the Rain Music, as I used another cover of his. I believe it was two covers in our Rosalina and Luma video. I could be wrong, but I know I used him at least once, and honestly, every time I search for video game covers, I come across this guy, and he brings this different flavor to the music he puts out, so I really do encourage you guys to go check him out. Links to everything will be in his description, to Google Play to buy the tracks, and to YouTube if you just want to give it a quick listen. But as you can see, I'm jumping in here. I had one sketch to kind of get the feel for Kingdom Hearts 3's design of Sora, and here I'm just trying to figure out a couple poses that maybe fit the character. I'm not sure I like the one I finally ended up settling on, but honestly, I think it did him pretty much a good amount of justice. A lot of his poses that you see in key art, and even the combat of the game, it reflects it how floaty it is, and I tried to kind of hone in on that essence, that floaty, free nature of how the gameplay is. But going back, yeah, Kingdom Hearts, I knew I did want to talk about it. I always do have a little bit to say about the series, despite my limited history with it. Believe it or not, though, my first encounter with the series was in high school. I had gotten the opportunity to play a Japanese copy of 358/2 Days on the DS, and I didn't beat it. And I'd be lying if I said I knew a single word in Japanese, at least how to read it. So I was pretty much in the dark, but I did like the flow of the combat, and once you figure out where the potions are and stuff, it was a pretty simple ride for the time I did play it. I mean, major props to you guys who play menu-based games in Japanese. I can't do it. But yeah, no, I played that for a little bit, and I thought, that's kind of cool. I'm down with it, and I never really revisited it. I had a friend who, I don't remember when this was, but he tried to introduce me to the series by having me play Kingdom Hearts 1 on his PS2, and we made a day out of it. We got pizza, and I was running through it, and I don't even think I made it past the tutorial, I'll be honest with you guys. I was just kind of like roasting the game for a bit, having a bit of a laugh, and he wasn't too offended by it. He was having a laugh too, because let's face it, I mean, a lot of you guys did grow up with these games, but they are laughable. Like, I don't know what genius stepped into a boardroom and was just like, listen, you see Mickey Mouse right here? Put him in Final Fantasy, watch what happens. But something about the formula just kind of works. And argue what you will about the plot becoming so muddled over the years, now that I have jumped in, it is entertaining. I really do like it. Going past when I tried those 2 times, it just never quite clicked with me. I remember when Kingdom Hearts 3 was first actually shown, and I'm not talking about that one teaser where they had to redo the engine after, but where we got some concrete footage, some concrete dates, where we knew it was actually coming. Like, we had that tangible, okay, it's been 10 years, 15 years, we've got this. I kind of had a little bit of an interest in the series again, and I don't know really where that cropped from. I just kind of wanted to give it another swing, and my girlfriend is in the camp of people who grew up with the games, and she really liked them, and for my birthday, she had actually gotten me the story so far on PS4, and my original plan, crazy as it was, and I'm pretty sure other people had done it, but my birthday lands in November, and Kingdom Hearts 3 came out late January, I believe, of 2019, was it? But anyway, she got me story so far, and I was like, all right, I don't think I'm going to feasibly get through all of these before 3 comes out, but I would like to play through all of them and then maybe like within the launch window get 3, and lo and behold, year plus later, I haven't quite done that. Before I rebranded my Twitch channel to Nintoki's, I had actually been playing a few of the games on stream. I played one, I tried to play Chain of Memories, but it was the PS2 version, and I was not down with it. There was way too much going on. So I ended up doing like a script reading of it. I drew a bunch of stuff. Maybe I have the final image saved. I didn't use layers or anything. I just drew a whole mess of nonsense, and I'll put that on screen for a second. I have like Sora, and I added cards after every chapter that I read to Sora's arsenal. I had drawn the characters based on really vague descriptions that this game facts written like right up of the script had. It was a fun time. But then I streamed most of 2, I want to say, or part of 2. I haven't gone back to it, but I remember getting to Tron, and me and my girlfriend had actually been co-streaming that too. So I've left it as a sub incentive for me to return to that stream, as they're a little harder to set up, I think. But, you know, we'll see if I ever get back to the series. I would always love to return to it, because I'm still interested in 3. Toy Story 3's world came out beautiful in that game. But back to the art anyways. It's so weird with me personally. I always have so much difficulty drawing faces that are based on like an anime art style. And I know that Kingdom Hearts is kind of skews and blurs the line between what's anime and what's cartoon, given all the properties they're working with. But, you know, this character is still very much designed by Nomura, or at least heavily influenced by the style of the Final Fantasy games. So for some reason, I always struggle with the faces. Everything else I think went rather smooth, I would like to say anyway. There's a little bit of a jank going on with his torso that I end up having to address later as I get this line art together. I'm waiting to see when it happens, but otherwise, his design, it kind of sits on that line where it looks really complicated, and you have your traditional JRPG tropes where he's got like a bunch of belts for no reason, a couple zippers here and there, but I don't think his design is too cluttered. I actually had a lot of fun drawing this. I think most of the difficulty actually came, ironically, with getting the Keyblade to look straight. I struggle a lot with the handle and the actual, would you call it a key or a blade, part of the Keyblade? The long metal bit with the fun stuff at the end. I'm a very, very picky artist when it comes to perspective, and now that I'm trying to do all these like fun little things, I find myself scrutinizing a lot, and it ends up really eating at me. Like right here, you could even see it's just completely uneven, and it's not working, and I eventually have to break out the ruler tool, and even then, I don't think it's perfectly even. I had taken vocational classes as a draftsman. I've used civil engineering programs like AutoCAD and the like, which is kind of ironic that I found that Autodesk made Sketchbook, and I'm such a huge fan of it, because I never thought in a million years I'd use that stuff after school. But, you know, here I am. But the point is that I'm so used to having things be so precise and rigid and looking perfectly fine, because those programs are literally made for that. They have this thing called Object Snap, where if you're trying to draw something in like an isometric view or like a 3/4 view, for the layman's term of that, it just snaps to things. Like you'll drag the line over and it'll just have a box around another line and it'll just snap to it, almost like a Lego piece or something. You just pop it on there. And, you know, freehand, a little bit different. And especially other programs like Photoshop and stuff, you don't have any sort of aid aside from your hands and your mouse and your tablet and what have you. But they give you enough tools. I don't know. I think it's like an artistic pride sort of thing where I really want to get it down freehand. Otherwise, I feel like I don't learn anything. And I probably got to shake that off. Because I know there's a lot of tools that really do help you get smoother lines and stuff. And there's areas where my line work could definitely be better if I just used these tools. But I don't know. Things like line smootheners and like things that make sure everything is straight and clean. Of course, you would want to use those in a professional environment if you're pressed for time. But for me, like, I'm doing all these drawings, I'm doing all these fan art for people, for games that I usually wouldn't go out of my way to draw, just as a way to learn. And I feel like if I'm just relying so much on the tools, if I were to just get a regular pen and paper, I wouldn't be able to do it. And I think that's, as an artist, I almost feel like that's admitting defeat, but I won't say that like as an objective statement. I just think that's my personal take, where if I draw something digitally, I want to be able to have the talent to replicate it on paper. And that's not always possible. I mean, like if I do a colored piece, I'm not always going to have access to every shade of gouache paint I used digitally, like, you know, but I'm talking about the fundamentals of things. And strictly speaking, in terms of line art, which I kind of feel my favor falls into, like when I draw, I color less, I use a lot more line art, and just something that appeals to me more. So I'd rather have that skill set on both ends, just because I also like to doodle in my spare time. I do have the Note 8, but there's something different about, you know, sketching digitally versus using an actual pen and paper that you don't get. And it's fun to just switch back and forth. Also, this is something I've been doing a little bit more often, a little bit of a shortcut. If anybody else wants to join me in this, by all means. I've just been making a new layer, and for all of these little, I don't know if you would call it hatching, but giving all this stuff value with strictly lines, you just make a new layer, scribble over it, and erase what you don't need. It's a lot easier than coloring in between the lines. Now, that's something you can't do with pen and paper. That's me cheating. But I've been doing that a lot more in the drawings that I've been making for you guys. And especially the ones that I'm making the time lapses of. I'm trying to not really argue the parity of quality of these drawings, but the ones that I make videos of, I want to put a little bit more oomph into, or the ones that people make donations for, I want to go that extra mile and really test my abilities. And honestly, I feel like I've been learning a lot from doing these. And I can't thank you guys enough for supporting me, honestly. I mean, none of these drawings would be cropping up if I weren't getting any followers or people watching or even laying out the requests, because sometimes people follow and they don't even take the free art. Boggles the noggin, man. Somebody told me they would draw me something for free. I'd be on that, but, you know, it is what it is. It's also probably a blessing in disguise. I would be thousands of drawings under, well, hundreds, 200, 200 drawings under. But I have done a great deal of these. I've been actually backing these up, if you guys are interested, on my Instagram, where I'm putting them out in batches of 7, so they're a little bit more digestible. You can kind of just like sift through them on there. But I am trying to consider maybe opening a spot on my portfolio website for all this fan art, because I'm getting a lot of great work done, but they aren't really things I would put on my portfolio as they're somebody else's IP. But I still am really proud of this work, and I do want people to kind of see these in a way that isn't so compartmentalized as they are on Instagram. Like, you can't really see all the tags from my Instagram page because of how the website layout is set up. I just want it to be easy for you guys to like look and see a character and be like, oh, let me see what he thought about this one. So I'll probably figure that out soon, but there he is. That's Sora. And of course, where would I be without my lovely patrons? Thank you so much, Diana, Tiana, Draconic Overlord, and Elena. If you guys want any more information and early access to full resolution versions of all my work, all that information is going to be down in the description below. If you want, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. You can find me on all those other channels. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate everything you do, and there's going to be more art from me in the future. Stick around. Peace, man.